Hello friends, welcome to Diksuchi. In this video, we learn indifference point. This is a part of financing decisions. So in the earlier video, we discussed operating leverage and this is indifference point which covers the level of EBIT beyond which the benefits of financial leverage begins so that we can get better EPS. Here, if you see this X is your EBIT. So you would like to know what will be your EBIT if you raise the funds only through equity or including equity and debentures. Okay, then this is a formula what you apply. That is EBIT with 1 minus t. See, after getting your EBIT, we have to pay EBIT. What do you mean by EBIT? Earnings before interest and tax. Now we are deducting the tax. So interest we are not paying because we have not raised at this point the funds through debt. So no interest payment. That's the reason we directly deduct the tax. So that is x into 1 minus t. Now, we don't have any other preference shares, right? So we are not deducting or adding any more. The formula for equity shares to raise the EBIT into 1 minus tax divided by the number of shares. So let us denote this as an N1, the number of shares raised through. So at this point, the left side of this first option, that is the funds are raised only through equity, and the other side, there is a combination of equity and debentures. So X is an EBIT, right? So because you raise funds through debentures, you need to pay the interest, right? That's the reason from the EBIT we are deducting the interest, and we are also deducting the tax, that is 1 minus t divided by we have number of shares. Now there is a difference between N1 and N2 because N1 is whole funds raised through equity. For example, if you have raised 5 lakhs of funds through equity, let us assume one share is 10 rupees. Then N1 will be 50,000. But this 5 lakhs raised through two different, that is equity and debentures. Equity, let us assume 20,000, 2 lakhs, and debentures, let us assume 3 lakhs. So 2 lakhs only the equity we have shared, distributed, no? Sorry, 2 lakhs of shares you have issued, no? Per share if it is 10 rupees, then 2 lakhs divided by 10, it is 20,000. So N2 will be your 20,000. So N1 will be 50,000, N2 will be your 20,000. Like that, we also have another alternative where the funds raised through only equity or equity and preference shares. So if you raise only through equity, just now we discussed in the option 1, that is this is same, right? So that is x into 1 minus t divided by n. The right hand side, if you see, first we are deducting the EBIT. There is no interest, no, so we are not adding any interest, minus we are deducting the dividend for the preference shareholders, that denoted by DP. Okay, divided by N3. Now N1 is only through equity, N2 is when you raise through debentures, definitely the number of shares comes down, so you are writing N2. Even if you distribute, even if you raise the funds through equity and preference, the equity number of shares are going to come down, right? That's the reason. Let us denote with an other number, that is N3. Now, the other alternative we have equity shares versus preference shares with tax on preference dividend. So this is going to be added in addition to this comparatively with the above formula, right? Then equity versus preference and debentures. So debentures also there, we are deducting the interest. Preference shares also there, we are deducting the dividend per payment. Of course, 1 minus t is common, divided by n. This is what how we are going to understand how much will be your EBIT if you raise the funds through different alternatives. Now, if it is an existing company, In the sense, we have already raised funds, and this is the second time we are going to raise the funds. So if you want to raise the funds along with the dividend, there we have already paying some interest now for the first raising of the funds first time. Then I2 is second time you are raising the funds through debt. That is only the difference. So instead of x minus I, how you write it here, same way we are writing it here, but we are mentioning as an 1, I1. That is first time when you raise the funds through the debt into 1 minus t divided by n1. Here we are also deducting the interest for the funds which have been raised after, means like second time. So that is I2. Then we are deducting the tax 1 minus t divided by n2. These are the formula. Now let us see the solution. Let us see one problem, how we are able to understand these. Right. Project under consideration by your company requires a capital investment of rupees 6 lakhs. Interest and term loan is 10%, means interest is 10%. Okay. 50% is a tax rate. Then we have to calculate the indifference point for the project debt equity ratio, where we have two portion as debt and one portion as equity, where the shares have been issued at the rate of 10 each. Now how we are going to do it? So for this debt and equity, no, we are going to use these formula. Okay, this we are going to use it because it is only having debt and equity. Now see, total capital we are raising is 6 lakhs, right? And debt and equity is 2 is to 1 ratio, means 2 parts of 6 lakhs, that is 4 lakhs. 1 part of 6 lakhs, that is 2 lakhs, right? So debt is 4 lakhs, equity is 4 lakhs, 2 lakhs. Now, debt, what is the percentage we are going to pay? Interest is 10%. That is, interest will be 40,000. So I have calculated here for you. Interest is equal to 4 lakhs into 10%, 40,000. And whereas equity, we are issuing at the rate of 10 rupees. So equity shares will be 20,000 if you are issuing along with the debt. Now, the first N1, if you want to calculate it, we assume that the whole funds are raised through equity, so that your N1 will be the whole amount of 6 lakhs divided by 10. So 60,000 is your share, number of shares, right? Now we are substituting this formula. Clear? We have to calculate x from this. You have tax, you have N1, you also have the interest and N2, right? After substituting this, so x into 1 minus t, right? 1 minus 0.5. Here you can see the formula if you want to see. Right? By N1, N1 was 60 lakhs, right? We mentioned over here the same thing. Equals to x minus, we have interest now, so we are paying 40,000 interest, 1 minus tax, then divided by the number of equity shares, right? So after calculating all, we get the value x as 60,000, means your EBIT is 60,000 when you raise the funds whole 6 lakhs either through equity, or the 6 lakhs you raise through using debt and equity in 2 is to 1 ratio. This is how we have to calculate the indifference point. Hope you understand. Now let us see the second problem for you. Okay, here we have the capital of 100 lakhs we need, right? And interest is 10%, tax as usual 50%, and the shares are issued at the 10%. So here they have given two different alternatives. One is debt equity ratio, that is 3 is to 1 ratio, and second one is equity and preference 2 is to 2 ratio. And then see, preference shares also issued at 10%, right? Now let us see the first one. So debt and equity, no, 3 is to 1 ratio. There are two alternatives, no. If you raise whole amount through equity, then your N1 will be 100 lakhs divided by 10, you get 10 lakhs. Okay, that is N1. Whereas interest, if you want to calculate interest, then 10% is interest, no. We raised funds through debt is 75 lakhs. So 75 lakhs into 10%, that is 7 lakhs 50,000. N2. When you use these options, so equity, raising of the funds through equity come down, right? That is only 25 lakhs now, right? Your N2 will be 2 lakhs 50,000. Now we are substituting these values in this formula. Then we are going to calculate, or we are going to know what is your X is, that is EBIT is. So substituting all, we are going to get almost, here it is 10 lakhs of rupees, right? So your EBIT will be 10 lakhs. So your conclusion can be your EBIT will be 10 lakhs when you issue the shares only through equity or use the debt equity ratio as 3 is to 1. Now let us see the second alternative. The second alternative, preference shares in the ratio of 2 is to 2, right? So when they say 2 is to 2, fine, 2 is to 2. In the sense, at the right hand side, we are using dividends for the preference shareholders. Then your N2 is going to be changed, right? The left hand side, you raise the funds only through equity, right? All funds are raised through equity. So all 100 lakhs raised through equity by 10 means, of course, you know N1 is 10 lakhs. Whereas if you raise 50 lakhs through equity, 50 lakhs through preference share capital, then your equity shares for the second option alternative will be 5 lakhs, and dividend per share you are paying 10% on your 50 lakhs, right? 10% on your 50 lakhs is 5 lakhs. Now you are substituting all these values in this. You need to calculate tax. The tax is 50%, N1 is your 10 lakhs, and DP is your 5 lakhs, sorry, yeah, 5 lakhs, and N2 is 5 lakhs. Substitute all these, then you are going to get your EBIT as 20 lakhs. Means there are two alternatives they are given. In this, we got 10 lakhs as your EBIT. Same procedure. But for the second alternative, you are going to get 20 lakhs as your EBIT, right? So you can suggest the company or the investor to go for the second alternative where there is a scope for more EBIT than the first option. That is what for the day today for this video. So friends, let us meet in the next video. Till then, take care.